Welcome to the BBC Live on YouTube. Welcome to all my subscribers. Welcome to everyone who's here new. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell as well. I'm rhyming, one timing. So we are here. My name's Ken Dizzle. Welcome to my new live series. I'll be cycling using various indoor cycling apps. Normally I'm on Zwift, but I'm having my summer break. I'll be back at the start of autumn. For now, I am on Virtupro. And I'm talking all things cycling, so thank you for joining. Normally I will have an agenda of chat topics, but today we're going to start off by maybe looking at this Virtupro. We can do some comparisons to the popular Zwift. And we can also have a general talk about indoor turbo trainers, indoor cycling, and anything else. So the topic is really up to you. You can decide what you want to talk about. We can watch some videos. You can send me links. Yeah, let's make this our chat. Anything we want to talk about. So the music's playing in the background. The chat is open. I'm going to be here for maybe up to an hour max. Kind of depends on how the legs feel. But I'm good to go. So let's go. Right. Probably better get this started. So Virtupro, it's a alternative to the Zwift app. Currently free. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay free, but it's free right now. So if you haven't downloaded a copy yet, do it now, be ahead of the curve. And yeah, we're all set up. So I'm just going to confirm that I've got everything set up. My Turbotrainer, I'm on the Elite, the Retro Elite Turbotrainer. This is it here. So the back wheel of my bike comes off my bike and it attaches to this Turbotrainer. So as I pedal, all of my energy, all of my effort is translated in that Turbotrainer to what's displayed on the app. So I get started and then we'll talk a little bit more about how that all works. I have power pedals so you can see that what's being displayed with a cadence sensor, which basically means how fast my legs are turning round. And obviously I've got my heart rate on. So you can see if I'm working hard or if I'm just stalling. Right, so Virtupro, obviously not as popular as Zwift, but you still have a chance to ride solo. You can do some group rides, you can do races. They've also got some training here as well. So we're just going to do something pretty straightforward. I'm not looking for anything fancy. I'm going to go onto a public ride, join a circuit, and I'm going to start off with just a flat route because, well, I don't want to work too hard. Although normally I'll be doing some sort of challenge. So feel free to have a dig at me. Tell me what I should be riding. Tell me that I'm riding too soft or too hard. I'm going to start my Garmin. And then let's pick a location to start. Go join. So each of these laps are around about, well, exactly 5 kilometers. So it's 5 kilometers a lap. Only 8 meters of elevation, so very slight bit of a hill gradient. And there are 2 sort of like KOM segments. I'm probably not going to go for KOMs. I'm pretty much looking to stay zone 2 as we chat away. So hopefully this gives you a bit of an insight into an alternative to Zwift, and it's absolutely free of charge. So you just need a bike, a Turbotrainer, something to obviously record, you know, to measure the effort you're putting out on the bike. Now I'm pretty certain that all of these other riders that you can see here are what we call bots. So they're just the computer generated cyclists, just to give you something interesting to look at. Now we can talk about the graphics, we can talk about the HUD, which is the display, everything you can see on screen. But to start off with, I'm just gonna get the heart rate pumping a bit. Whew. and then we go from there. Probably talk about a little bit of the screen, what we can see. So let's talk about what we can see up on the screen. So we start at the very top left. You can see I've got my heart rate sensor connected. So my heart rate is currently 129 BPMs. Next across, you've got my RPMs, which is my cadence. So I'm doing around about 80 RPMs at the moment. The next bit there is, actually don't know what that is actually. What is that? Percentage? Don't know what that is. Need to look at what that one is. I'm not, obviously, I'm still pretty new to Virtupro. But then if you look at the middle section, you can see my actual speed. Currently going at 32 kilometers per hour. My watts, 164, 149. And where you've got the 0.6 and a little triangle, that's actually showing the gradient of where I am. So it's currently 0, minus, slightly downhill. As I say, there's only 8 meters across the entire 5 kilometers on this ride. And then right across to the right, you can see my total distance traveled, which is 1.1 kilometers. And there's only 1 meter of elevation. Drop right down, but below that, just above my head, you can see the total calories burnt, 23 calories. I'm on my first lap. When you've got like a little linear progress bar, so you can see, since it's a flat route, 5 kilometers, the little yellow marker, that's me. Hello. You can see the little blue markers, 1 and 2, are where we've got the time sections. And below there, you've got more of the same stats that you can see above, but they've got that broken down into like a session average. And then over to where my bike is pointing side on. Hello. Hello. Just above me, you can see my name, there's me. I'm currently doing 0.9 watts per kilogram. And the other riders that are in this this ride are displaying. You can see the power they're putting out. So Robert is 125 meters in front of me and currently putting out 2.5 watts per kilogram. So this is the basic overlay or setup of Virtupro. Very similar to Zwift, as you can see. And in reality, it's all about my legs, this powertrain here, what I'm putting out into the Turbotrainer, that's translated on the screen. It says I'm doing 200 watts, I'm really doing 200 watts. If it says it's up a 5% gradient hill, it really is a 5% gradient hill. So the first 5 minutes usually takes me about 10 minutes to get warmed up. Segment starting in 350 meters. One, two. Shame I can't change the avatar. I'm sure you can. I just don't know how to. I prefer a Black Cyclist to match my name. So this segment's starting. If I was going for a time segment, I'll be looking to put some effort down here, get a decent time, but I'm just riding for fun. This is my sprint theme, although I'm not actually sprinting. Thank you for joining, appreciate it. If you're familiar with indoor cycling and the most popular app, Zwift, you're probably thinking, have they done a new update? This is not Zwift, this is Virtupro. It's an alternative, a free version that I'm trying out during the summer months, but it's normally way too hot to cycle indoors. So I've decided to save my monthly subscription of $17.99, hop on a free one, maybe 1 or 2 times a month during the summer. I'm just getting warmed up. So thank you for the like. Thank you for joining. Okay, so lap 1, nearly over. So some of the essentials that you need when you are doing indoor cycling: a towel. I have one here. I've got another little one here. It's actually an official Zwift sweat towel. I have them in all the Zwift colours, like a turquoisey, greeny blue, the pink and orange, typical orange Zwift. So a towel essential, a fan, at least one fan. I have 2, one in front, which I'm going to turn on now. Computer, turn on big fan. Whew. So I've got it in front of me, so I get a real headwind blast of air cooling me. And I also have a fan just to the left, which is giving me a side shot, keeping me cool. You don't have the luxury or the advantage of the natural wind or you moving through the air when you're riding outside. You're static on the bike. So things will get a lot hotter riding indoors than they will if you're outdoors. I guess it makes you sweat more, probably burn a few more extra calories, whatever your reason for cycling. I cycle for fitness, for fun, and just to add a little bit of extra to my training routine. What do you do for training? I'll be interested in hearing. Leave me a comment, either in a live or if you're watching this on playback. What do you do? How many hours a week do you cycle? Mountain bike, road bike, BMXing. I mean, what's your discipline? I started off on a mountain bike. Well, actually, I started off on a BMX. 80s. I was a child of the 80s. The original BMXs, rally burner days. Anyway, as I got older, got into mountain biking, found mountain bike trails. Cannock Chase is local to me in the West Midlands. Downhill mountain biking, cross country. And then during lockdown, 2020, 21, when we weren't allowed to go out, but we still needed exercise, I decided to look into indoor turbo trainers and an indoor cycling setup, which led me to the Diretto Elite, which I'm on now, and my very first road bike. So this bike is a Ridley Liz. It's actually a female spec bike. Not that it matters. I'm all about inclusivity and diversity, but it's a carbon. It's really light. It's about 7.6 kilograms total weight, and the wheels aren't even the lightest either. They're standard aluminium wheels. Caliper brakes, so there's a bit of weight saving there compared to hydraulic disc brakes. Shimano, actually I think it's Tiagra. It's not even 105. But at my level, entry level, Tiagra 105 makes no difference. Get something that fits within your price budget. And the beauty of these turbo trainers is literally any bike will fit on it. As long as you've got a power meter or power source, something to read the cadence, you can connect it to one of these apps and you can cycle like you're outside without being outside. So I guess there's added safety in the UK. Summer's over, what little summer we had, but as it starts to get wetter, the evenings get darker, earlier, there's lots of traffic on the road and whatnot. It means that we can still ride as hard or harder as we would outdoors, but indoors. No time restrictions, no need to worry about safety. You can even go 100% max out all the way without having to worry about saving effort to be able to drag yourself home. I'm already home. That's what I love about indoor cycling. I'll be interested to hear if you've done any indoor cycling. Maybe you've thought about it. What has actually led you to my channel today? If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe. As they all say, it means that my videos will get shown to more people. And more people get to enjoy the BBC. BBC for everyone. Everyone deserves a BBC. So, this is just one of my many bikes. I think I've got a bit of a bike addiction. So I'm fortunate that in the UK, we have a government tax scheme that allows you to get a bike tax-free. It's called the Cycle to Work scheme. So that allows you to get a bike and not have to pay out for it in one chunk. What happens is something called salary sacrifice. So effectively your employer buys a bike for you, or they get a voucher on your behalf, and then you pay the money back directly from your salary each month. The advantages are, well, one, you don't have to pay the big outlay to start with, and because it comes out of your salary gross, so before you paid any deductions like pension, national insurance, tax. So effectively it means you're paying less of your earned money for it. And depending on what tax bracket you're in, the bigger the savers. Obviously the more tax you pay, the bigger the discount. So I like to take full advantage of every tax incentive and benefit that I'm allowed to have, which often means getting a new bike every year. But I've got a couple of mountain bikes. I've got obviously this road bike, carbon caliper. This one pretty much stays on this Turbotrainer, so it's always ready to go. I've got a race spec road bike. Again, that's full carbon. That's a Ridley with Shimano 105, carbon race wheels. I've got a cyclocross bike. That's my latest bike I got this year. That's another Ribble again. And that's what they call the CGR, so cycle, gravel, road. So it's kind of like a 3-in-1. Road bike, more like a gravel bike, but more suited to cyclocross. So again, it's built for speed, but with the added benefit of bigger tyre clearance, bigger tyres, got some knobbly tyres on. So when I really want to go like off the road, you know, I'm not going on actual highways, tarmac or paved roads. You know, I might be going on, say, like a local country trail or nature work. You've got no problem going over grass and some hard surface rubble. Road bikes, like a bike like this with the smooth tyres, it's pretty much just made for concrete, tarmac roads, like what you can see on the screen. But the gravel bike or the cyclocross bike, I can go a little bit further off to the left. I can, like, just where those spectators are. Allez! Allez! Allez, allez! So that's, and then I've also got an actual gravel bike, which is a Specialized. That's an aluminium. It's just under 10 kilograms, that one is. It's like a midway, the tyres between road tyres, but it's got some additional sort of like tread to the side, so you can really sort of like go off-road on that. And it's actually got mini suspension like in the head where the handlebars are, so you got a little bit of flex movement. I'm not sure how much difference it makes, but I do have a YouTube video where I'm actually riding it down some steps in Cannock Chase. It's actually one of my most popular videos. I think I'm on over 100,000. I think people are watching it more trying to see like, what's that idiot doing on a road bike on a mountain bike trail? And then I think I've missed the bike out. Yeah, so then I've also got a fold-up bike, which is like a commuter bike. So when I used to get the train to work, in between train stations and home, and train station and the office, I just got myself a fold-up bike. Didn't go for a top spec Brompton. Wasn't interested in paying £1,000 for a bike just to catch the trains with. So I got like a Halfords, like a generic Halfords model, around about £300 I think it was. Again, got that on the cycle to work scheme, and that's quite handy because it folds up like half the size, fits easily into the back of the car or into the boot, and fits easily into the luggage racks on the train. So you don't have to book an actual bike space on some trains that we have in the UK. And I've got another bike which is pretty much in bits, but it's like my first proper mountain bike that I got. It's a bit of a Frankenstein's monster. It's got a yellow frame, some decent wheels, it's got dual suspension, and it's my first proper bike that I got on the cycle to work scheme, which is my Mondraker dual suspension. I got that one in about 2010. So yeah, I think I've got all the bikes I need now, although I'm feeling I'm nearly ready to jump onto an e-bike. Not because I'm scared of hills. I think it's more, I think I'm ready to try one out. The batteries seem to last a decent amount of time. If you've got any e-bike recommendations, send them my way. Let me know. But I do enjoy a hill. I know that sounds weird, but hills are where you get strong. So if you're good at climbing hills, even if you're bad at climbing hills, you put out more effort on a hill than you would do on like a flat route, such as I'm riding now. So that's a little bit of an introduction to me and my bikes. On my next, not a podcast, I'll be coming with some topics of conversations, all cycling related, potentially talking about any recent changes in UK cycling law, any news stories involving interesting cycling facts, new tech, new cycling tech. That could be a nice interesting topic of discussion. So if you are a manufacturer or producer of cycling components, accessories, etc., and you'd like to send me in some stuff to try out, you can find my contact details in my description, and I will happily consider anything you submit. Although respectfully, if it doesn't match the channel, or it's not something that I feel personally I would use or my subscribers would be interested in, then I'm probably not gonna feature it. Trying to keep it real, man. What else could we talk about? We could potentially do some race crits. I'd also like to showcase some of my favourite streamers and other content creators you know, such as NorCal Cycling, General Elos, who I often stream with on Twitch, and we take part in a massive cycling charity event that we do annually called Kilometers for Kiddos. It's raised about $30,000 this year and last year for the St Jude's Children's Hospital, and it's all about giving stuff back to the cycling community. So this channel is all about positivity, inclusion, diversity, best of all fun, and I like to think that I bring a different perspective to cycling. So when the haters come, I repay them with love. Yeah, this is me. So I've got to say, one advantage to streaming and chatting while you stream, it kind of like makes you forget at times that you're actually on a bike, putting out lots of watts, getting fit, burning energy. So it does make it a lot easier. So thank you for allowing me to share the YouTube airways with you. You really do make my cycling a lot easier. So we're coming into the third lap. Let's look at some of the stats. 31 kilometers average, 85 RPM average, heart rate's 137. So yeah, so I'm keeping it nicely within the zone 2, maybe a little touch of zone 3. We can talk about zones, training zones, on one of my other live streams. I'd also like to talk about diets. And again, I'm not really giving you advice. I'm just sharing what I do. Now it's entirely up to you to take as little or as much of that as you want and apply it to your situation. As long as you caveat it with what I do is unique to me, based on my stats, my age, my ability, even the equipment that I'm using. And if I'm pushing out 200 watts and you're thinking, wow, 200 watts, I can only do 100. That's fine. That's just where you are, based on your personal situation. Let me show you something that my nan used to say. What you eat doesn't make me poop. Now obviously she was an old black Jamaican woman, so she didn't use those exact words. It was more like, all right, you eat now, make me shit. But I think you get what I'm saying, yeah? Don't worry too much about what someone else is doing. Whatever they eat isn't affecting your output. So focus on your own efforts. And the best tip I can give you is enjoy it, relax, have some fun, eat well, have a balance between good and bad. Nothing's bad as long as it's not to excess. Whew. Right, 13.6 kilometers and I feel truly warmed up. Legs are feeling good. I've currently burnt 260 calories. Fitness is building. I've been going for coming up to 30 minutes. So at this rate, I'm set to burn somewhere between 500 and 600 calories, which isn't bad if I go for the full hour. Got my water, another essential to have when you're on the indoor bike or an outdoor bike. And I've got like 4 teaspoons of sugar in with this, like 0.8 litres of water, giving me some carbs, give me just that little bit of intra-workout energy as I'm putting out this effort. And of course I've fueled before, had a late breakfast. I'll talk about my breakfast and about how I eat in a later podcast. And at some point, I'll also take it outside, do an outside live podcast. And I might also get on a couple of my fellow streaming buddies from across the pond, sharing our cycling experiences, tips, do's and don'ts. Lap 3 coming up. Here we go, the third lap. Looking pretty consistent on both laps, or all 3 laps so far. Around about 9 minutes and 20 per lap. You can see why I need a towel. Sweating like mad. A bit downhill. It's literally flat. Literally, virtually. So, I was fortunate enough to treat myself to a new 360 camera last year in the Black Friday sales, and it's really changed how I do my typical YouTube videos. Check them out in my video listings. But I'm actually looking to do more of my outside vlogging in short video format, well, long video format, but short videos, less than 5 minutes. Just documenting the encounters that I have out on the bike as the friendly cyclist. Mixed in with a few cycling tips, a few tips on how I'm actually learning to edit and create what I hope to be engaging videos on my 360 camera. But I really do need your feedback, your input. What do you think of the videos? Are they too long, too short? What's the quality like? Is there anything you'd like to see? I mean, I'm a big fan of sharing. So there's part 1 of my Inside the Wattage Cottage, which is the room that I'm in now, where I've actually showcased some of my bikes. But just like a brief introduction into each one, if you'd like me to focus more on a particular bike, maybe you want to hear about my stream setup, I'm on a rocker plate which I built myself, so I get some sideways movement some back and forth. It also takes a little bit of the stiffness out of riding an indoor trainer, and it gives you that, it kind of in some way replicates the movement you'd have if you was outside, but it also cushions some of the impact. And I built this for just over £100. And if you want to build your own, I have a live video where I was building it live. There's a couple of short videos as well, so you can see my technique. And if you'd like a list of the parts, also where to get the parts from, all that's included in the template. Just ask me in the comments and I will gladly share you the link in Google Docs or Google Drive. Yeah, so it was really fun building this rocker plate. If you want to see how I've done that, you want me to talk more about all the equipment that I have for cycling, what I think of heart rate monitors, what cycling computer I'm using. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert in any of these, but I'm absolutely an end user. I'm a cyclist enthusiast who's just really keen to just share my experience, hoping to make yours a little bit easier. When I first started, I searched YouTube and the internet, trying to find what's the best turbo trainer to get, what bike works best on it, what are the tips, what size cassette do I need, a parameter, what are the essentials, what's the best fan to get. I've done all of that for you, so either ask me, what do you think of this, Ken? Or show me a link. I'm thinking about getting this. Any thoughts? If I haven't used it or tried it, you can guarantee I know someone else in the cycling community who does or who has. Maybe I'll save you a few hours of searching. And any information that I give is free, and it's up to you whether you heed it or ignore it. So I feel really good. Coming up to 20 kilometers. The fans are cooling me down. It's definitely a few degrees cooler than it was when I was on Monday. On Monday it was 26 degrees in the Wattage Cottage. Today it's 23. It's a bit chilly outside. Highs of 13 apparently. Not really a high. And that's 13 degrees C for my US viewers, not Fahrenheit. So 36 minutes into this cycling, I have burnt 360 calories. That's like a cheese and onion sandwich from Tesco. Easily burnt in 35 minutes of zone 2 cycling. I mean, we don't do it just for the calorie burn, but it's all part of the overall keeping fit, getting your exercise journey. So what do you think of this Virtupro? Graphics look pretty smooth. What I'm pushing out in the pedals seems to be translating nearly instantaneously onto the screen. Segment 2 coming up. So should I put a bit of effort in? Should we go like a few zones up? Here we go. Put some effort in for this zone. You can see the watts above, they've gone red, indicating the effort that I'm putting in. Should see my heart rate rising as well from 145 up. 100 meters left to go. 70, 40, cross the line. Legs are burning a bit. Let's get rid of some of that lactate. Whew. There you go. So easy to do. A quick 40 minutes of effort. 20 kilometers in 40 minutes. Not bad, ain't it, after a day's work? So the heart rate's risen to 161. Finish line ahead. Boom! So, warm up, effort, and then cool down. Let's get this heart rate down below 130, 120. Spin the legs out. Drop the gears down so I can get more spin. So what I'm looking to do now is just gradually bring the effort down. Keep the legs spinning at a relatively high cadence so my body can flush out some of that lactate that it's built up, and that just makes for an easier and a faster recovery. You'll find you don't ache as much if you stretch before and afterwards. Do a nice cool down. And one of my favourite things after a bike ride is a nice soak in the bath. Hot bath, put a few bath salts in. Yeah. Whew. So, thanks for joining as I gradually wind down for the next 10 minutes. So if you have any topics, subjects, features you'd like me to focus on in the next edition, you can leave a comment in this video, in the next scheduled video, or in any of my other videos. You can reach out to me on Twitter, X, Black Cyclist with an S, or if you search for Black British Cyclist or Black Cyclist on any social media platform, you're likely to find me. There's not that many black cyclists out there, but I think I'm the most popular, or trying to be. So on the next one, I'm going to be talking about Zwift, the Zwift alternative, and any recent cycling news or new tech that looks interesting. So another 4 minutes. We will end this as a 45-minute workout. .5 degrees in the White Cottage. And of course, I'll say it one more time. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you're here as one of my subscribees, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I love every time I get a notification telling me that someone else has subscribed. It means you've watched one of my videos, enjoyed it enough to say thank you with a subscribe. And when I like videos, I love them even more. But what I love best of all is comments, because it tells me that you've watched my video, you've enjoyed it enough to engage with it, or a topic or subject in it has evoked enough of a feeling for you to actually want to contribute to the comments. So please keep commenting. Doesn't always have to be positive. Tell me if there's something I'm doing wrong or you don't like. And I do like to address all comments. Not so much the ones that are inappropriate or racist, although I do reward them with love and a hug. But yeah, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. So we got 2.5 minutes. I feel like I should do a sprint, but this really is a cool down, isn't it? Something's telling me I should go on to my next lap. Finish this lap. Something about ending on an odd number. Probably going to end at the start of the segment. Okay, this is me done. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you following. Don't forget to share my content. And I will see you at the next, not a podcast, but it really is a podcast. I just don't know what to call it. I'm open to suggestive names of what I can call this new live on YouTube chats while I'm cycling feature. That one's a bit of a mouthful, so maybe something a little bit more catchy and succinct. Okay, that's me done. I'll probably catch you in a couple of days. Sweat all over my keyboard. Lost the cursor. Old school way. See you later.